Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Ritt. I'm an artist and a tarot reader, and today's reading feels a little convoluted. I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. There's kind of a muddled energy that I'm picking up on, and I believe it's because we're just working through so much stuff, you know? So the sense I'm getting is that we've had to make decisions for ourselves that have felt uncomfortable in some way, but they've been an important step in leaving past stuff that's felt really all-encompassing behind. They haven't felt logical or linear. I'm definitely getting that. We've got the Lovers reversed. And what's coming to me is that Lovers is about choice. It's a Gemini energy, so there's that duality, there's that theme of balance. Gemini is very communicative, so there's that going on as well. But what I'm getting is that we've had to make choices for ourselves, this is in the past position, that involve our personal growth, you know, that actually involve turning inwards. And this, coupled with King of Swords, also reversed. This is a card that speaks so much to logic. Swords are the air element. Air relates to the mind. I think of this king in particular as such a master of logic and strategy, and he's got the wisdom of life experience, but there's something that can be very kind of cold and removed about the air element in relation to strategy, in relation to intellect. It's that ability to discern and kind of step away from any hotbed of emotional stuff. It's what people mean when they say keep your head. Like, this guy's kept his head. Here he's on his head though, he's reversed, and he's coupled with this energy that's also reversed, and it feels as if we've had to go against traditional logic and really tune into what we know non-linearly, what we know spiritually, what we know, what our gut is telling us, what our divine self is telling us. Again, you have this beautiful purple, and it's clouded, you know, and it feels so ethereal and so mystical. Purple is a color of mysticism. I've brought this up before. It really does feel as if, once again, it's like we've had to make the best choices for ourselves that concern our personal growth, that concern our internal well-being, our inner life, maybe our private life, our sense of wholeness, you know, speaking of balance, it's as if we've had to recalibrate by way of putting ourselves first, putting our own very deeply personal needs first, and doing it in a way that goes against what other people say should be the way forward for us. You know, there's that feeling of really having to go against, well, old systems and old conventions, conventional wisdom, other people's very defined sense of right and wrong, you know? So there's that, even just within this image, you know? And I love all the beautiful abstractions within this tarot deck that lend themselves to a little bit more free-form interpretation. And so something else that's occurring to me is that here he's ruling with his sword, you know, his sword of logic. And it's such a phallic symbol, the sword. You know, there's just such an inherent masculinity, and if we think about Western culture and ruling things with the mind, you know, it's a very patriarchal system, and this is a patriarchal ruler, you know, and when he's turned on his head, my eye is drawn to this circular shape here, which feels so inherently feminine. And if you think about the mystical connotations of circles and wholeness, as I was saying, it feels as if we're having to return to our sense of wholeness by it's almost as if we're having to go against what other people are doing by way of turning away from what other people are doing. That's what I'm getting. It's kind of like, it's not about rebelling in the direction of these conventions. It's not even about pushing against them this way, but the very act of turning inward, there's a lot of power in that. And there are other people doing things in a more logical, linear way who will take notice. And so in paying attention to this internal world, there's a lot of power in that. And it may have rubbed other people the wrong way. It may have, at very least, caused other people around us to take notice that we're withdrawing our attention from them and putting the focus back on ourselves and, again, our needs. So that's a very interesting, and once again, a continuation of themes that have come up in other readings for sure. And then also, as we've made those choices for ourselves, what I'm getting to is that we continue to look back. With Two of Wands, there's a reflection on the past. Even as it's such a bold, fiery energy that also speaks to our confidence, our inner confidence. And once again, you have this, it's kind of the perfect marriage of masculine and feminine going on. And there's a boldness to this energy. And at the same time, this person is looking out on their past. Interesting too, because with Knight of Cups is actually looking forward. There's a lot that we're leaving behind. But what's so interesting about this, and this is all in the present position now, with Knight of Cups, I'm kind of drawn to this top cup here. So this is an energy that speaks to moving away from emotional discord. Once again, kind of turning inward by way of turning our backs on what's been, that we're kind of done with. You know, it's like been there, done that energy. At the same time, it feels as if maybe there's still something from this past situation that felt so discordant that we're kind of still reflecting on, you know, and there's something important in that is what I'm getting. You know, it's like we're in the process of leaving a lot behind, but it's not an overnight thing. And there's something still important for us. It almost feels like a gem, you know, amid the crap, amongst the crap of whatever the past situation has been or situations have been that we're leaving behind. There's some kind of gem of information there that's going to be important to honor or process or continue to process, even as it's also been really important for us to move forward, you know? And so I think that's why there is some of this past reflection. It feels as if we've gained a lot from what we've been through, and in being able to discern for ourselves what we need, you know, what we need maybe that we haven't been getting from other people. That's been an important development in our growth. So the decisions we've been making, again, they've been really important in terms of furthering our own needs and kind of allowing us to honor who we are in new ways as we move forward. But still, we're in a really interesting kind of in-between where we are looking back. And so again, there's that feeling of accomplishment and fullness. I know that Chris at Minopon Tarot has talked about that feeling of completion, which is also a theme with circles. Completion, you know? In the turning inward, we've kind of completed something important for ourselves, completed a cycle for ourselves. And then we're also just kind of wondering, well, what does that mean? You know, what does that mean going forward? Because this guy is trying to divine his future by way of looking out at his past, which is a little bit impossible, by the way, you know? But at the same time, what we're processing from the past is also really important to process. So it's kind of both, you know? It feels as if we're slowly making our way into a future of our choosing. But again, the stuff we're processing, it's heavy. And it almost has to be a slower process. I'm seeing that going forward as well. You have this energy, hangman energy, that speaks to turning points, speaks to that feeling of being in limbo. And here he's reversed. And he's next to this energy, which is so much about lack, feeling alone is what I'm getting. Here you have Earth, which speaks to the material resources or feeling the lack of those resources. I feel like this is, more broadly speaking, about our emotional reality, and resources of peace of mind. I mean, that's also a resource. The resource of emotional fulfillment, that's a resource. And we've been leaving behind the situations slowly that have caused us pain, that have caused us to feel so alone. So this is reversed, and this is reversed. They're both reversed here. And the way this feels to me, and this is interesting because I'm kind of getting a dual message here as well. The way it feels to me is that we're going to be releasing our baggage, maybe slowly and on our own terms. And with that process, the way this feels like a lightning bolt, actually, the words that are coming to me are thorny growth, which is interesting too. It's almost like we can't help but grow and expand. And I will say once again, it's like we're in this really interesting in-between where everything we've been through is benefiting us, but we're also able to see the aspects of old situations, like this, where we've had to turn inward and kind of like see through the manure of that, but at the same time, we're growing in spite of just feeling all of that dreck, all of that yuck, all that stuff that's been weighing us down, really. It feels as if going forward, it's still going to be a slow process of releasing and overcoming our feelings of sadness and pain. I'm getting that. It still feels like a heavy energy going forward. Still, we are moving forward. It feels as if we're in the process of decoding our own mystery. Because to me, this card just, it speaks inherently to divine mystery. Everything about this feels very, very feminine, very mysterious, and like an adventure. It's like I'm getting some really interesting words. It kind of feels as if we're having to excavate our soul's purpose and start again by way of really getting at our origins. Once again, it feels as if there's something really important, some kind of really important information in these past situations that we've been leaving behind, that's some kind of key to decoding what we're all about. It's very interesting. And again, you have this theme of circles. And you know what I'm getting this time around too is that I feel like we're that much more receptive these days to this kind of feels like looking to the heavens for new information, for new answers, allowing ourselves to receive that divine information. It's like we're that much more open to it, which is really exciting, actually. The way this feels to me this time around, too, is with this red energy here, it's like we're grounded enough, actually, to be able to look up, because if you think about the root chakra, the red of the root chakra, this feels like a very human, almost like a little stick figure to me. And it feels as if we're aligned enough, we're stable enough in who we are and in the life that we're living, even if there's a lot of really, really heavy energy that we're still in the process of releasing. it also feels as if we're actually willing enough and able enough to look beyond our physical existence and kind of glean new information from our divine knowing. So whether that's our religion, our spiritual practice, our journaling, we're that much better able to look for and find answers from above and from the universe, from around us. It's like we're more receptive these days to divine information. That's a really powerful advantage. That can really help us through a lot. White also, I feel as if white speaks to our divinity, and it's just such a perfect little orb, So yeah, that's also interesting information. So we're kind of in the right place to want to unravel a mystery and to want to delve into that. And again, I feel as if I keep seeing all these different circles. They speak to our sense of wholeness and our tapping into our feminine energy. And, here, even here, with the moon here. And then these guys. And then the last little artwork that I pulled is this one. And to me, this energy, it's a little bit beyond the heaviness that we're still working through here. It feels as if we're actually going to be able to spread our wings and soar. And maybe we're even experiencing moments of that now. I feel like what's coming to me is that it's actually because of the heaviness that we're kind of like right in the middle of, that conversely, we're that much better able to find new ways to soar. That's a really powerful message as well. This energy feels like spreading our wings. I feel that this time around. And again, the colors here, this is heart chakra energy with the green here, The decisions that we've made or that we're continuing to make here, it kind of feels like they're priming us to be better able to listen in clearly and better able to, even if it's just a glimpse, maybe it's a transcendental experience that you have dancing or going outside and really taking in the air. What I'm getting is that this feels like at least moments of soaring, moments of flying, and then moments of just feeling like we're slogging through so much stuff. It's kind of like split energy. But I love that we can even have moments like this where we soar. And again, I do feel like the adversity that we're experiencing is kind of forcing us to be more inventive. It's forcing us to stay open to what we truly believe in and have a very deep personal connection to that divine part of our lives, which is lovely. So I'm going to end the reading here. And I hope that this has been helpful for those of you listening in. And for anyone interested in supporting me and this channel, please check out my Patreon page. I won't talk a ton about it. It's something I'm continuing to grow and have evolve. But yeah, definitely check it out. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day and wonderful evening, wonderful weekend into next week. And I will see you again soon. Bye for now.